that delay less. So I'm gonna hold it right here. I'm trying to have the approximate, like this is approximately what I see when I see the tornado. When we go like this, different. You know, here that's going to be different too. So this is approximate my angle of viewing. So there's just this light there, right there, I guess. And well, so far, I mean, the cloth is developing. Looks a little like cloth. Doesn't really match up too well. I notice there's a big shadow here, which we're missing down here. That would be a good thing to correct. But what I really want to do right now, I just did a stop motion one which I didn't post yet, where I tried to, you know, smooth this everything out to get more of a, you know, consistent color there. And but what I really want to do now is hit this and make it really pop, which I don't know if that's going to be possible, given everything that's painted on there so far. But let's just jump right in and let me see if I can. Let's see. Try to zoom in on that. Okay. And away we go. Let's see here. So let's see. We're just gonna jump in here. I want to put a bold green there. Try to put some more here. Really is, you know, lacking definition and depth in this area. That might be good. I'm leaving these white areas because we definitely want to have some, blot up a little bit of that. We definitely want to have some contrast, high contrast in this area, because that's the only thing that's going to make it stand out. Otherwise, it's just going to be like a, you know, wishy-washy. Anyway, so I don't know, let that dry. What else? Tomato's starting to look pretty round, kind of has depth. I'm going to see about maybe just reinforcing this highlight here by, I got clear water, just painting clear water and blotting out. Now you can see the highlight starting to come out, and this is maybe the area closest to the viewer. So if this area is coming forward, then that's going to be a win, right? There's also a reflection here where the light is bouncing off here and going right there. Whoops. The light bounces here and goes there. It's not that obvious from the overhead image, but it's there. So I'm going to try to put water right here and blot up, and if we can get this whole area, you know, as light as that, that would be a real plus at this stage. So it's getting there. This is easier to do the same you know, moment or within 5 or 10 minutes of when you actually paint there. But if you have good cotton paper, which this is relatively good, I think this is student grade cotton paper. It's the Arches watercolor pad. So, all right, well, not really perfect, but definitely it did come a little bit of stuff came off. So, and you know, here we really want this to be saying hello, I'm a big highlight, so push a little more on that. Okay. And so this right here is like a puddle of paint. I'm going to touch the dry brush on there. Okay, now, so time to maybe talk about the stem. There was a yellow ochre straw color, which I think would sort of exaggerate you know, there's barely any yellow in that, but I'm gonna exaggerate with yellow because we would need something to pop there. This was my first attempt right where I put that drop, and I'm just gonna leave that there, I guess, to absorb into the paper a little bit. And meanwhile, would we want that color anywhere else? Probably, maybe. Right around here, probably might be good. Let's get some more definition there. So that looks pretty good. Would we want it right here too, possibly? Yes, that looks great. That's the best paint stroke of the painting so far, right there. All right, wonderful. And I'm going to try and put a little bit right here too because we're on a roll with that color. That, I don't know. I don't know if that's so great. Yeah, we'll just leave it and see what happens later. So, I'll try another one right here. I don't want to do an outline, that's for sure, but, you know, we gotta start tweaking this thing up or it's gonna stay wishy-washy the whole time. So anyway, now I'm going to switch to a bigger brush because, you know, we said that there's a big shadow here, but there's no shadow there. So I'm going to try to get a gray happening. Probably a warm gray would be the best since it's supposed to be a forward area. So I have a kind of a red happening, and I'm going to mix a bluish gray with the red, and I don't want it to be too red. We have this red right here, which is definitely exaggerated because this is a very forward area. All right, so anyway, another problem I got is that, you know, this is getting miles away from what that actually looks like, so we're kind of in the world of made up background here, so that is never really a great place to be because unless you're very experienced and you know you painted this a few thousand times and you really know what it's supposed to look like, then so I'm going to try right there. Okay, now I'm going to go more on the gray side while that's still wet and try to, there we go. And here now I want to get like a highlight in there, but a subtle one. So I'm gonna I got a damp brush. I'm just gonna try to smear that, and I think that looks okay. This hard edge there. Now I want to get a better dark down here. So this is more okay. So and I don't know if that's so great. I think it's okay, and I'm gonna try to sort of lift some of that paint up right there. What that is, looks like a chunk of it's not coming out, or got it off. I guess we're gonna settle for a transition, and you know that's a little bit obnoxious in its warm personality. So I'm gonna go over that with some other colors in a little bit. Here I'm gonna try to let's see what's this is happening here. Like a smoother And here I'm going to try to emphasize this like wrinkle. I don't know if that's going to work. Let's see. Here I'm taking the rinsing the brush, taking the water out, and then try to make this a little bit more subtle, because I don't know if that hard edge is exactly belonging. This is mostly just water on this brush. I'm just kind of soften and this should be a little bit softer also. I'm just trying to make that edge so it's just not quite as intense. Oh, see, try to soften this one a little bit. There's another one right there which we did not actually represent. And see about giving that one a, let's see if that, at this point of the painting, it is a high pressure moment because you know, we have a lot of development, so any really bad strokes, you know, is really mess you up. And let's try to go softer right here. Just kind of, instead of having white there, go with a softer gray. I might just leave a little bit of white right here because this is maybe the closest area to the viewer in the entire painting. So I'll just leave a little bit of white there and color this one in. That's looking okay. Let's step back. Sometimes, here we go, stepping back. I don't know what's in the camera there, but it's looking all right. I mean, it looks like tomato. Cloth looks sort of like cloth, not really. Let's see about messing this up because there's something weird about that area. Just gonna try to smooth it out, and this, the way this water dried there, that's like suspicious because it shouldn't really happen like that on cotton paper. But anyway, see what happens here. We're just gonna paint water on this this whole clumsy looking area. And while we're at it, let's take a super faint cool gray. I'm gonna mix some blue with one of these grays we were just using, and that looks like a cool gray. Let's see if we can just kind of I don't know if that's good or not. We're going to find out later. This whole area has been a problem area in the since the early stages of the painting. Anyway, I'm going to go cool there. Nothing back here should really be coming that far forward because, you know, this is This is a distant area, so if nothing else, it should be like faded out. And I'm gonna try to just blend this a little bit, even up here. This whole area, I mean, it's okay if it, hints at shape, but, like this here, I mean, that's not so bad because, this is coming forward. And I guess we should probably, you know, put some tones on there just so it, I don't mind that. It has a lot of depth and form. And let's see what's right here. Just got a random gray and color in this highlight looking thing. There, I'm gonna find that cool color, try to sort of soften this thing. See, having this hard edge right here is, not really helping us because that's far, it's a like far away space in the painting. So, having the contrast just draws the eye, makes it seem like it's closer, and it's not closer. We want this to be a muted area, and so just try to soften that. Likewise for this thing right here, it's a hard edge. It was great early on as we were trying to establish form, but and now let's just go get this thing a little bit more soft. And this is unfortunate that this thing's here because that should not be there. So you just rub it and see if we can hopefully make it light or not at all. I don't think we're gonna manage the not at all idea. And I gotta blot that up or we're gonna have a bad a bad drying area, which we don't want right there, that's for sure. And I don't think it's going to go anywhere, that little line. Anyway, we are hurtling towards conclusion here, we hope. So I'm going to see about just... So this is not very clearly defined. I'm going to see if I can do a better job of defining that, which unlikely because I pretty much messed it up. So this, last time I painted an area like that, I thought it was like a hack when I painted it, but then later on, I was looking at it and it seemed just fine. Now I'm just going to try to make that softer. That was a little on the too soft side. See about here. Oh, and so this is actually a wrinkle that goes out this way. If you look at that, that's what I'm trying to do is match up with that, which, obviously we're miles away. And here I'm going to try to pull out this, try and go back into the Okay, here trying to get a highlight, or at least get the paint to be lighter in this area. Rubbing it with water on the brush. It's not really working out because some of that paint has been on there like overnight and it is pretty dry. I'm just gonna leave a puddle there, let it sit for a minute, and let's see. Yeah, now it's coming out a little bit, and since this is one of the closest areas to the viewer, then we really need definition, and contrast will help. Not that we're anywhere near on the contrast, but just having this blob of light area is helping us to say that this is closer to the viewer than this, right? So that was the aim there, and the same likewise around here. We should have one, I guess, right there. I don't know if you can see it from where you're at, but like right here, there's a highlight, which is technically right there. So I'm going to see about getting a highlight right there. So just going to paint a blob of water. Let it sit there and hopefully dissolve that paint that's there. And it is sort of coming up a little bit. Rubbing with the brush of water just to, break down the paint that's sitting there. Okay, wow, now we got a real nice highlight. Look at that, yay. Okay. That definitely helps say, hello, I am closer to the viewer. Okay, looking good there, sort of. I mean, it's an improvement anyway. I don't know about this, line right here. Let's see about smearing that a little bit. And there is really, this is a very challenging area. There's inside, and, this part, where am I? This part is, behind this part. And so does that really reflect in this painting that this is behind this? I don't know, maybe not especially. I think I'm going to try the Posca Uni. I thought this was enamel. I don't really know if it's enamel, but let's see if it's anything's coming out. Okay, I'm just gonna go right here. And I don't know if that helped or not. Maybe not really. Not really. I had already put a line there trying to clean up that thing. I would say what we want is like a blue-gray right here, so let's try to get a blue-gray going. Here's some blue. This is my new palette. This is, so here I got some blue. Well, let me go back up a little. How do you back up on this? Okay. So let's see, you got the blue here. This is, this thing here is, I forgot what they call that. Just got some new paints, but I don't know. I put them in a new section. Oh well. Anyway, we're looking for a blue-gray, so this is more a warm gray. So to have more blue, let's take another kind of blue in there, which is, I think this one's called French Ultramarine. That's a little bit more, oh no, you know what, this is a Primatech blue. Alright, well that's a definite blue-gray, but let's have a little bit more gray happening. So this one's called Lunar Blue, which is a Payne's gray that leans sharply towards blue. Alright, so let's see what's happening here. We're just going to try to get this in here and, you know, leave that little white thing there. Now we're going to get some of that paint off the brush. Now we have a damp brush, somewhat mixed, and you know, I guess that does fall behind. Let's try to just go right here slightly, rinse the brush again, try to smear this a little bit, and I think that does look like it's a little behind. Now I want to soften this edge right here, so I'm just gonna, so I guess the hard edge over here will, you know, look like it's in front of the soft edge, because muted tones fall back, and high contrast comes forward. So that looks pretty good, and I'm just going to go a little higher up here. Leave that as intense as it is, and then maybe we could go on this side. Reinforce this with our slightly light color. Then I think we definitely want to, well, let's just blend this a little bit, and we definitely want this peak to be a highlight, so I'm gonna squish the water out of the brush and just go with a dry brush right here. It's not really working great. Here's another dry brush. Let's see if that's any better. Not really. So I'm gonna rinse the brush, take some of the water out, paint a puddle of water on there, let it sit for a second, and now it's sort of coming off. And to my chagrin, I have some red paint on my towel, so just got a spot of red paint there. Alright, I think that looks a lot better. Okay, I would say we want a couple more different tones in there, so then we have that warm tone. Why don't we try our cool blue and just maybe have a little bit right there. That might be good as is, and now I want to do a I want to get a darker shadow there, which is a we don't want to go whole hog warm, but we definitely want to get have it pretty warm. So I'm going to start with these this thing there, and I'm going to put I think that's a French ultramarine. I think it's actually a Primatech blue. I gotta look up the names. It's time to do a new color chart so I can talk about what is the you know, the name of the paint. So here there's like a shadow there. Let's try to get that shadow. Okay. Now that is an obnoxious line, but you know, hopefully we can make it less so. Let's try to get this. And let's go here. And then let's do that. So there's a little comic booky here because we got these hard lines which sort of look like outlines, and you know, personally I don't like any lines in my watercolor, so here I'm just going to try to blend this shadow out. And it's not really blending too good, but and this should be kind of lighter because it's just a little bit too obnoxious right there. And this, you definitely want to work this into the rinse the brush, squeeze out the water, and try to get a harder line there. It came out slightly harder. And what's that? Let's get rid of that. So you just got a random gray here. I just want to paint this in because that should not be so striking. It's still a little bit striking. And then this, get a softer edge here. And I hope that doesn't dry weird because there's a lot of water on there. All in all, we're, we're moving in the right direction here. And, yeah. And there's actually a shadow right here. I'll try to put the shadow in. Let's see about. That's kind of good. And I don't like the way this red is right here. I mean, it's warm gray. I'm just going to try to go a little bit there. And I don't know if that's good or not. I don't think so. But just touch that a little bit. I don't like the warm gray. I mean, we got the warm gray up here. We need to be cool in this area. I'm going to actually put the exaggerated blue right there just to stop the red in its tracks. And it's not really showing up. Let's try this blue. And we don't want to be doing anything straight from the tube, but let's see. Okay, that might be a little better. I don't know. No, it's a little bit too pronounced. So let's sit there a minute and pat it up a little bit, and let's just. Okay, now we got the blue on there. I'd like to lift up half of that paint. And it didn't really work out, my plan to put blue over this little area. And I don't know if that's a good thing to have this hard edge. It looks like a little nose there. Anyway, I guess we're, better off than we were when we started this thing. I mean, at a glance, seeing in the camera there, I mean, it does look a little bit like cloth. I mean, if I told you it was cloth, you would probably say, ah, okay, yeah, it looks like cloth. So let's see. I'm just going to try to get a slight reinforcement of this area. And let's see. This got this white here. I don't know if we want to keep that white. If you see right here, there's a little speck of white. I don't know if we want to keep that or not. I mean, this could be a real benefit. And I'm just going to try to reinforce this. I want to make it a little bit fatter because I don't want anything that looks like a line in the watercolor. So now rinse the brush, make it damp. Now I'm going to just hit this edge to make it as soft, a little bit more soft. So likewise up here, just kind of, there we go. Get this. When we started this watercolor, if you look at the first, live video, you will see a very loose kind of, technique and brush strokes. Opposite of what's happening right here. All right, so we did just cover the white, and now we blotted it up. Let's see what's up here. I think what we want is a super dark red line right here, just above this shadow. So we're just trying to make the shadow as subtle as possible, and we definitely want it there because that's a central focal point. And it actually, I'm going to try to see if I can get that same color back. I guess this is it here. I want to get just a hint of that right here. There is a little white area right there, and we want to keep that. Let's see if we're, might as well have it in the picture. What do you say? Okay, so there's a white area there. We want to keep the white area, this little thing that's right next to the a little white thing that's right there. I want to keep that. So now I'm just going to try to blend this and just say, hi, I'm just the beginning of a little shadow. And this goes up this way. So see what happens here. What I'm trying to paint is this area. That's as far as we zoom in. This area right, where's my finger? This area right there. So you see there's that little triangle there of shadow, and then there's a little thing. I should have a toothpick as a pointer instead of my big fat finger. Anyway, here's a triangle shadow. Gets a little bit lighter, there's a white bump here, and then there's this little thing that goes up as a swirl. That's what we're trying to achieve right there. And, you know, I guess we're not far, not really, you know, right on top of things. But anyway, the whole video here was supposed to be to do this green area. So I want to just jump back in the green area. And probably long enough. I must be late for work. So let's see about the green area. I'm going to try to get a nice rich green with cadmium yellow deep and some kind of blue. So let's see how that works out. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's see. Not exactly what I had in mind. Well, alright, let's see what this does. I had an idea to do a very thick paint here. Let's see if this could go up. Alright. Oh, that looks okay. If I can get some opaque paint right here, and you know, it's just a little bit wimpy, my thing so far. But I guess that's we're gonna take a little break here because I guess we improved the squiggly green stuff that's in the middle there. So everybody, thanks for stopping by, and let's see if we can line this up. There's the approximate angle we are looking at. To find the approximate angle we're looking at, I'm mostly looking at what's happening right here and right there. So I guess it's something like that is pretty much my view. And so, well, I guess we're shaping up here. I mean, I don't know about that towel, but things are happening. That was a lot of fun. Thanks a lot if you're watching my live, and I sure appreciate all the motivation and the encouragement I'm getting from these live videos. Real-time watercolor painting. See you next time. Bye.